Then coming to the next one, data manipulation instructions. So we're going to use three different data manipulation instructions. First one is going to be called as arithmetic operations. So here the increment, decrement, add, subtract, multiply, divide, add with carry, subtract with borrow, and negate. These are the instructions which are going to be called as data manipulation instructions. By doing the operation of arithmetic operations, it's going to do the data manipulation. Next one, logical and bit manipulation. So for the purpose of logical operations and bit manipulation operations, which are going to be used in the assembly language, are clear, which clears the content of the register, complement, which is going to reverse the contents which is going to be present in the particular register, and logical operations and or exclusive or are going to be the logical operations. Clear carry, carry bit will be cleared over there. Set carry, it's going to set the carry bit. Complement the carry, it's going to reverse the carry which is going to be present in the carry flag. And enable interrupt and disable interrupt, EI and DI, both are the instructions are used for the interrupting the processor. These are the logical and bit manipulation instructions used in the assembly language program. And coming to the third one, shift operations, which is going to be called as logical shift right, arithmetic shift right, arithmetic shift left, rotate operations, and rotate through carry operations, which are going to be present over there. So these are the data manipulation instructions which is going to get used in the arithmetic assembly language programs. Coming to the program control instructions, we are going to have branch instructions, jump instruction, skip, call, return, compare, and test. These are the instructions which are going to be called as program control instructions. Here the comparison, which is going to be doing an operation of defining a difference between both a minus b, but it won't store the results over there. And the test is nothing but an AND operation, which is going to be taking two inputs, and it's nothing but a type of masking, and it's going to perform an AND operation by providing the data. This is a type of masking operation which is going to be used in the test instruction. Next one, conditional branch instructions. What is conditional branch instructions? The branch instructions which is going to be having its own condition. With when it is 0, the branch is going to be working. When it is 0, when it is not 0, with carry, without carry, if the sign is going to be plus or sign is going to be minus, when overflow is going to be there or not. Based on the status flags, the conditions are going to be depend over this. This is going to be called as conditional branch instructions in the assembly language program. So we are going to move on to the next topic called as basic input output operations. What is the basic input output operation is? Considering the problem of moving a character code from the keyboard to the processor, for this transfer we need an buffer register and a status control are also needed over there. Okay, so how the processor is going to accept the input from the keyboards or from the input device and produces an output to the output devices. Those operations are going to be seen in this particular topic called as basic input output operations. First, we are going to see about that. The data on which the instruction operates are not necessarily already stored in the memory, and the data need to be transferred between the processor and the outside world. Maybe a disk or a keyboard, a scanner or a mouse, etc. will be present over there. And these IO operations are essential. The way they are performed can have a significant effect on the performance of the computer. So here we are going to deal about one thing called as program control example. A read in a character input from a keyboard and produce a character output on a display screen. So the rate of transfer of data from the keyboard to the display, or from the keyboard to the processor, as well as from the processor to the keyboard, that is going to be called as execution time over here. And the difference in the speed between the processor and IO devices creates the need for mechanism to synchronize the data or to synchronize the transfer of data over here. So as solution for this problem, an output, the processor sends the first character and then waits for a signal from the display that the character has been received or not. It then sends the second character. Input is sent from the keyboard in a similar way. So these are the solutions to overcome this problem. So synchronization is going to be made over there to overcome these issues. So let us see about a program controlled IO example. So here the processor, which is going to be connected to a bus, and a data in and data out, nothing but a keyboard and a display together is going to be connected to the processor through a single bus. This is going to be called as bus connection for processor, keyboard and display. So the keyboard as well as the display both are going to be consisting of three things over there. One is nothing but the register, second flags, and device interfaces are going to be present over there. For example, how it's going to get operate for this transfer, the keyboard which needs a buffer register that is going to be called as data in, and a status control flag SIN, as well as the keyboard also going to have data out as a buffer register, and status control flag SOUT is going to be present over there. So when a key is going to get pressed, the corresponding ASCII code is stored in a data in register and associated with the keyboard. When SIN is going to be 1, when a character is typed in the keyboard, this informs the processor that a valid character is going to be there in the data in. When SIN is going to be 0, when the character is transferred to a processor, after that the data will be transferred from the data into the processor and makes SIN flag to be get 0. A analogous processor takes place when characters are transferred from the processor to the display. For this transfer, the buffer register data out is and the status control both are going to be using this, and when SOUT is going to be 1, when the display is ready to receive the character from the processor. So after receiving the data from the processor to the data out display device, data out buffer register, then SOUT becomes 0 when the character is being transferred to data out. The buffer register data in, and data out, and the status flags SIN and SOUT are part of circuitry commonly known as device interfaces. In such a way, this operation is going to be performed over here. This is going to be called as program controlled IO example. So how this program controlled IO example is going to be done when we are going to have a particular operation. The machine instruction that can check the status of the control flag as well as the status flag and data transfer is going to get happen over there. Okay, here we are going to take read wait branch to read wait if SIN is equal to 0. So the input from data in to the register R1 is going to be performed over there, whereas write wait branch to write wait if SOUT is equal to 0. Output from the R1 to the data out register. These are the instructions we are going to use over there to transfer the data from input to processor as well as from processor to display device. So when come to the next one, a memory mapped IO, some address values are used to refer to peripheral devices, buffer registers such as data in and data out. There's no special instructions are needed to access the content of the register. Data can be transferred between these registers and the processor using instructions such as move, load, or store like that. For example, a content of the keyboard data buffer data in can be transferred to register R1. It may be in the processor by using an instruction move byte data in comma R in. The move byte operation code signifies that the operand size is a byte. The test byte instruction sets the status or state of one bit in the destination, where the bit position to be tested is indicated by the first operand. Okay, let's see about read wait test byte asterisk 3 in status, and branch is equal to 0, it's going to be read wait. Then move byte data in comma R1. This is an instruction which is going to be used with the memory mapped IO. Let's see about the next example assumption. The initial status of SIN is 0 and the initial status of SOUT is always 1. Any drawbacks of this mechanism in terms of efficiency in the sense it has a two wait loops which is going to get process execution time is going to get wasted over there. For this, an alternate solution is nothing but interrupt. By using an interrupt instructions, we can overcome this particular problem. Okay, so we will deal this, or we will see about the program controlled IO examples when we are going to do the third module that's called as interrupt IO devices. Okay, so we will move on to the next topic, stacks and queues. So what do you mean by stacks and queues?